Here we go then. Green flag is waving for the first 3-lap segment. Preston Ploward drew number 1. Michael Norman drew number 2. Preston Ploward came in entry number 1. He's getting close. Left rear. There's an elimination, and all 3 of them are gone. London, Norman, and Preston Ploward are all gone. That leaves Rachel Atkins all by her lonesome. Charles Galaxy. Oh, look out! There goes McNamara off. And Silver Fox spun as well. And I think it may have been courtesy of the 91 of Deanna Shelton. And oh, look out! Oh my goodness, that didn't take long. Seth Cole, Austin LaPlante, Deanna Shelton, and Dylan Young. Just like that. Could be trouble. Brad Johnson gets close, and there goes Freddie Coyote. There also goes the 84. And Rachel Atkins, who was the longest one in, is out as well. The 9 car is involved too. Makoto Iguchi. And I said the 84 as well. Brandon Freitet. But, oh, Cody! There goes Cody! Skavnicki is gone. Rod Houston is gone. And I think somebody else was eliminated as well. I think it might have been, was it Lawler? I think it was. For certain, we were going to see the 60 go down to 31. There goes the 60 into the 31. I just called it just a little too late. There goes Hagen in front of the rest of the field. And Kartik Keselowski's out. Jordan Davis has now been eliminated. And there's Hudson. He is involved as well. Cody Hagen. Whoa. Old Alley. Really loose. Oh, he got his brother. Oh, and he got himself. Oh. And Jake Rogers was collected with it. Oh, look out, there they go! Oh, and Henley got collected! Zachary Lombard, Daniel Voiles, Jacob Anthony, and Sean Henley. All 4 of them are taken off the racetrack. And hello there, everybody, and thank you for tuning in for part 2 here of the 4th annual NNSCRA Royal Rumble. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little preview there. That's what went down in part 1, a lot of the highlights that happened. And now we're getting ready here for part 2, in which we will see entries 41 through 75, and then of course the 10-lap shootout at the very end. That's all going to be happening here in this part. We've already gone over the rules and everything. I don't really think there's any time to waste. Why don't we head now, find out who's going to be entry number 41 in today's Royal Rumble. Entry number 41 to start us off today is going to be Saya Asumi in the number 43 Cheerios Betty Crocker Dodge. So we've got 5 cars here that'll take the green. And Saya Asumi actually is a friend of Adrian Erickson, Kenny Bale, even Makoto Iguchi, who ended up driving the 9 car earlier on here, came in entry number 12 and has been eliminated since then. All drivers there of the Enraged Media Corp. And right now, Saya Asumi trying to see if she can go a little bit further than her friend Makoto Iguchi did, which Iguchi only went 2 rounds before being eliminated. Or no, wait a minute. No, I apologize. No. Iguchi actually did go further. Went to round 16. So ended up going 5 rounds. As Luke Walker leads the way. Cody Hagen right behind in second. Saya Asumi in third. And then, of course, we got Jessica Shelton there in 4th, and behind them, Jimmy Bly. Those are the 5 that are currently in. Everybody else has been eliminated in one way or another. And heading here into this second part, Cody Hagen is the driver we're watching. He's going to try and run down Jordan Davis for being on track the longest. So far, Jordan Davis holds the record with 16 straight rounds of surviving. Right now, Cody Hagen would be at 11 rounds that he has survived. So he's only got about 7 more rounds he's got to survive, and he will be the highest surviving driver on track. As you see there, Jimmy Bly, nice strategy moving there towards the back. However, that sometimes does not work out well. If you remember back when Sean Henley entered the Royal Rumble, he was running way back there. They wrecked in front of him, and someone came up and got him, even though he was running about 5-6 car lengths behind. So sometimes it's a good strategy, but sometimes it doesn't work out. As they remain single file coming down here to the start-finish line. I'm actually surprised for 5 cars that they raced as clean as they did. Checkered flag waves. Time to find out entry number 42. And entry number 42 is going to be car number 42. Trent Dunham in the Texaco Haviland Dodge out of Chip Ganassi Racing. Trent Dunham, a former Oreo Truck Series and Mobile One Cup Series champion. He is the only one besides Matthew Rodriguez to be a two-time NNSCRA champion. As the green flag comes out, we'll see how he does now. Oh, Luke Walker making a little contact there with Saya Asumi, but they get off each other, and now they're 2x2, three wide, 2 rows deep. See if they can settle it here, coming onto the back straightaway. Looks like they're doing a pretty good job of doing that. Trent Dunham, as I said, a two-time NNSCRA champion. But his luck, whoa, there goes Luke Walker. Little help there from Saya Asumi. And that was a textbook elimination, and Asumi did stay on track. So Luke Walker is out. Walker came in, entry 39. And just like that, he is gone. That was a great elimination there by Saya Asumi. Tough break for Luke Walker, though. So it doesn't look like any driver from the account second is going to be going to win the Royal Rumble. Pichu London was eliminated earlier, and Luke Walker, their last hope, just got eliminated right there. Ooh, Jessica Shelton looks like she's trying to eliminate Cody Hagan. Hagan wants to survive. He wants to beat Zachary Robinson. More than that, he wants to make it to the final round. Whoa! Jessica not letting that 34 go. But Trent Dunham all by his lonesome on the inside line. 1 lap to go. But as I was going to say before Luke Walker got eliminated, Trent Dunham is kind of almost like Sean Henley. Both those drivers really have a difficult time here with the Royal Rumble. And we're going to see here if Trent can survive. Looks like he will. Wow, nice move there by Jessica Shelton, Cody Hagan. A little bit of a two-car tandem there, literally. Down the back straightaway, helped them get around Trent Dunham via the high side. And these 5 are going to come down here to the checkered flag. Whoa! Jimmy Bly popped out of line there all of a sudden. So those 5 will transfer, but Luke Walker will not. Let's jump back, take a look at a replay of his elimination. And here's a look at it. This was a beautiful elimination on the part of Saya Asumi. Right there. Gets him in the right rear, turns him up the racetrack, and wait a minute, did Asumi go out? Oh, we gotta look at that. Asumi may have gone outside the track. No, she didn't. Look at this. 43 car. 2 right side tires are on the grass, but the 2 left side tires are still on the pavement as she hangs onto it. That was an amazing elimination and an amazing save all at once. Wow. Very nice job there by Saya Asumi as she picks up her first elimination of the day. As you see Luke Walker there in the background flying into the great blue yonder. As we'll head now and find out entry number 43. Just missed the green flag, but here we go. Danny Wells comes in at entry number 43 in the Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet out of Richard Childress Racing. Danny Wells, a big Kevin Harvick fan. That's why he's in that ride here today. Danny Wells is a big-time name in 2003, as well as here in the NNSCRA. Danny Wells, last season, was a chaser in both at Mobile and Snickers Cup Series, actually. He was a 2-time winner in Snickers. He was a 3-time winner, I think it was. Either 2 or 3-time winner in the Truck Series last season. And he's doing really well this season, too, as he's made his debut for Tweenix Racing in the Snickers Cup Series in Season 7. And he's running top 10 in points. So Danny Wells really has been on a good momentum streak. We'll see how he does here in the Royal Rumble. As Trent Dunham currently is the leader up ahead. Right now we have a total of 1 Ford, 1 Toyota, 2 Chevys, and 2 Dodges that have still survived so far. Cody Hagan there in the 34, still trudging on, still surviving. At this point, he has survived a total of 13 rounds. So he's only got 3 more to go before he ties up Jordan Davis, and I think he could do it. I have not really seen the 34 in Perril's wake at all. As Trent Dunham continues to keep his car out in front. He's had a fast car, has Trent. Now, he had to let Cody Hagan and Jessica Shelton go when they had the 2-car tandem last time, but he was out in front for most of that segment. He's been out in front for pretty much this whole segment here. And Danny Wells, just trying to get acquainted here with this kind of racing, jumped all the way to the back. And they're still single file, so oh boy, this is what you hate, because then you never know when things are going to break out. So it looks like everybody survives. Let's jump back now and let's get entry number 44 is Jessica Shelton and Saya Asumi made a little contact there, but doesn't matter. They were already crossed the start-finish line. Entry number 44 going to be the last hope for Everham Motorsports here today, as it will be Henry Nova in the number 10 Valvoline Dodge. As the green flag comes out here, they're 4 wide at the start. Look out back here between Asumi, Dunham. Oh boy, Dunham getting close to Danny Wells. He's going to move down to the middle group. Hopefully Danny's going to give him room. Everything looks like it's all good for the moment. Well, wait a minute. Watch out back here. Whoa, Jessica Shelton not giving Asumi much room. Trent Dunham right back there as well. Cody Hagan says, hey, I'm still on a survival streak here. I'm going to get out in front of you guys. You guys race your heads off if you want to. Oh, boy. Man, this is awfully close right here. And this may look like they're giving each other room, but you get 3 wide. Someone can make a little bit of a mistake, and before you know it, there goes 4 or 5 drivers eliminated in the blink of an eye. But I guess we have some time now to be able to talk about Henry Nova, as they seem to have settled this out, as Nova slipped way to the back here. Not bad strategy. Henry Nova is a former Snickers Cup Series driver. He actually, if I remember correctly, had the pole position for the Daytona 500 in Season 6. Nova is also right now in the Mobile One Cup Series. He's struggling right now in that series at the current moment, but Henry Nova, very well known for being the dark horse type. He actually finished, I believe it was top 25 in the Snickers Cup Series in Season 6, and that was his rookie season in that particular series. As the white flags display, it looks like we're going to have 1 to go. And so far, no eliminations. Everybody's been able to somehow, some way, still keep it clean. Look at how spaced out they are. Apparently, these drivers were watching the tape back from the replays of everything that happened back in Part 1, and they don't want to have that happen to them. So far today, we've had only 1 elimination in Part 2, and that is Luke Walker. As they're going to come down here to the stripe, doesn't look like anyone's going to eliminate anybody else. Checkered flag waves, and we're going to have a total of 7 cars move on to the next round, bring in our 8th driver at entry number 45. Here we go. Entry number 45 is going to be Emma White in the 41 machine out of Chip Ganassi Racing, so that could be a little bit of help for Trent Dunham. And I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden we've gotten back on the Dodge streak of Dodges entering the race. We had Asaya Asumi come in, then we had Trent Dunham come in, then we had Henry Nova come in, and now we've got Emma White. There's 4 Dodges right there. And I'm actually quite surprised that they got off that green flag start off the way they did. I was expecting them to wreck it up. Whoa, Emma White getting close there to the back bumper of Trent Dunham. Remember, there are no teammates. Oh, there goes Jimmy Bly. And I think Jessica Shelton eliminated herself as well. Jimmy Bly, and oh, there they go. Emma White has gone off. Trent Dunham's gone off, and I think that was Henry Nova. It was indeed. So now it's Cody Hagan, Danny Wells, and Saya Asumi that are the ones that are currently still in. Jessica Shelton is currently eliminated, I believe, so she could try and eliminate anybody she wants to still, and it would still count. But she will not move on to the next round. There's Jimmy Bly. He continues on, but he was clearly beneath the dotted white line coming off of 4. Henry Nova's caught up there on the edge of the racetrack. Emma White on pit road, and I don't know if we've been able to locate Trent Dunham yet. Where's Trent? Oh, there he is. He's still trying to find his way back onto the track. So Cody Hagan out in front. Saya Asumi, Danny Wells, the 43 and 29. Those are the 3 drivers that will move on to the next round. Jessica Shelton, I'm pretty certain, was eliminated. We will be looking back to a replay to confirm it. She had to make sure that she did not put all 4 tires down beneath the dotted white line, but I think in an effort to eliminate Jimmy Bly, she may have done so. As they come here out of turn 4, they'll be single file here, so it looks like, for certain, Cody Hagan, Danny Wells, and Asumi, they're all going to move on to the next round. Trent Dunham, Emma White, I should say, and Henry Nova, we know will not move on. Neither will Jimmy Bly, but we do have to find out if Jessica Shelton will be joining them in the eliminated circle as well. Alright, here it was, coming off of turn 4. Let's watch. Oh, right there, you could definitely see Jessica Shelton was down beneath the dotted white line, so she eliminated herself as well as Jimmy Bly. And then up here, who does the eliminating here? Is it Trent Dunham or is it Emma White? Let's see. Jimmy Bly come back on the track. He's not going to be much of a factor. I think Emma White's going to come down into the right rear of Trent Dunham right there. Hooks him up into Henry Nova. Emma White's going to try and get around on the high side. It didn't work. And there go 3 Dodges just like that. Dunham, Henry Nova, and Emma White. So they're telling me that Emma White is going to get credited with eliminating herself, Dunham, and Nova. Jessica Shelton's going to get credited with eliminating herself as well as Jimmy Bly. And I want to see here, how did Henry Nova exactly end up landing on top of the turn? Oh, okay. He drove up the racetrack, and when he gets to the top, it hops up, and he just kind of teeter-totters there. Well, that was interesting. Anybody want to go on a seesaw? Seesaw. Okay, enough of that. Time to go back now and find out who's going to be entry number 46. And entry number 46 is going to be Angel Navarro in the number 20 out of Joe Gibbs Racing. 4 drivers going to continue on here. A lot of the Dodges are gone. Actually, the only Dodge left now is Sayasumi in the 43. We lost Trent Dunham, we lost Henry Nova, we lost Emma White. And another thing we got to keep an eye on here, Cody Hagan came in at entry number 31. We're up to entry number 46. One more round, and Cody Hagan will have tied Jordan Davis for the longest amount of time here in the Royal Rumble with 16 straight rounds. Keep your eyes on that 34. Whoa! Keep your eyes on that 34 right there. He nearly got eliminated by Danny Wells. Yikes. Angel Navarro does have some previous NNSCRA experience, very limited because he was replaced very early on in the season in both Oreo Truck Series and Snickers Cup Series. He drove the 48 in the Snickers Cup Series and the 25 in Oreo Truck Series competition. So we really didn't get a whole lot of time to be able to analyze him and see what his racing style is, but right now he's out in front as they're 3 wide behind him, so good strategy there at least for Angel. Side by side here for seconds. Sayasumi on the inside of Danny Wells. I've actually been very impressed with Danny Wells here. We haven't talked about him since he made his entry in at number 43. And he's just been quietly keeping himself out of trouble. He was able to avoid the wreck that took place during the last round. And we may have an elimination here. Wait a minute, Cody Hagan all over the back bumper of the 43. 43-34, reverse numbers. And the 2 of them right there, we're about to maybe have a little bit of a skirmish, and look at there. Sayasumi says, okay, you can go to the inside. I'm not going to force the envelope at all. So Angel Navarro, he may actually get a challenge here on the inside when they come down here to the stripe. And maybe Cody Hagan may be planning that for the final lap of the 10-lap shootout. Who knows? And here comes the next entry, entry number 47. And entry number 47 will be James McLeod in the number 96 Texas Instruments DLP Chevrolet. James McLeod, very, very well known here in the Royal Rumble. He's been up there at the end quite a few times, as I recall. And we'll see how he does here in the 4th annual Royal Rumble. James McLeod, also well known in the NNSCRA for having multiple win seasons. He's actually got 4 Oreo Truck Series wins in a single season. That currently is a record in that particular series. He's also been a 2-time winner in the Mobile Cup Series, and he's also been a 3-time winner in a single season in the Snickers Cup Series. So he really knows how to get to victory lane. We'll see how he does here in a non-points event where anything goes. James McLeod also was a runner-up to Austin LaPlante last season in the Mobile Cup Series chase for the championship. So he almost was able to become an NNSCRA champion, but wasn't quite able to. As a matter of fact, that battle between him and Austin LaPlante ended up coming down to a 5-lap shootout because both of them were tied in the standings, and they had to have a tiebreaker dash-off. And James McLeod immediately going to go down here to the bottom of the racetrack, get his car out in front. Angel Navarro looks like he's got different ideas. He's going to drop to the back. And Cody Hagan has officially tied up Jordan Davis for the longest amount of time here in the Royal Rumble, 16 rounds. And if he survives here, he'll have set the new precedent of 17 straight rounds that he has been here in the Royal Rumble. Cody Hagan came in at entry number 31. We are at entry number 47. So, oh no, boy, me and my big mouth. There goes Sayasumi and Cody Hagan. Just like that. And they're going to come back up on the racetrack, too, the both of them. Oh, man. Well, McLeod, Wells, Navarro, they're going to continue on. Asumi just got eliminated by Cody Hagan, who also eliminated himself. looks like he and Jordan Davis will have to share the top of the list of the leaderboard as far as longest amount of time here in the Royal Rumbles. The checkered flag waves. Let's take a look and see what happened to the 34 and the 43. Well, in the last round, we know that Cody Hagan and Saya Asumi were both getting into each other, and there you just saw it right there. Hagan gets into the left rear, turns the 43 down off the racetrack, and Cody Hagan himself is not able to hang on to it. Wow, Saya may have actually tried coming up for retaliation, but was not able to brush across the front of the nose of the 34. That's a tough break there for Cody Hagan. Was trying to survive, really looked good. And Saya Asumi as well came in at entry 41, was surviving. Whoa, look out. 34 got really loose when he came back on the track. But both of them are out of the event. And Cody Hagan gets credited with both eliminations. But Danny Wells, Angel Navarro, Jays of Cloud move on. Let's see who's going to join them as entry number 48. Coming in at entry number 48 is going to be the 78 machine out of Nemco Motorsports. And that is going to be Jamie DeFelu. As they'll come down here, get the green flag. Jamie DeFelu is a rookie in the Oreo Truck Series here in Season 7. He's actually really been doing good in his first few starts as well. He drives a 78 over in that series as well, the Furniture Row Chevrolet. So, no surprise that he decided to drive the 78 Furniture Row Chevy here today. He's the only one of the Nemco Motorsports cars that's going to be in today's event. The 87 is not in this race. And I just got us a nice little look there at the pace car as I was trying to get down here to Jays McLeod. There we go. McLeod going 3 wide, and he'll go to the front. Danny Wells right behind him. And if we're casting on the burden of surviving again onto somebody, the driver now who's been in the longest of the drivers currently on track, that would be Danny Wells. And I apologize for that little glitch there. I had to actually move the scroll bar over on my notepad so I could find out what entry Danny Wells came in at, and that was entry 43. So far he's been in it for 6 rounds. Long ways to go if he's going to catch up here to Cody Hagan and Jordan Davis, who are tied for the longest amount of time in the Royal Rumble. Whoa, Jamie DeFelu getting close to the dotted white line. The only other one that's really been close to that of staying in the Royal Rumble the longest was Rachel Atkins. Came in at entry number 3 and lasted 15 rounds. A little bit of a breakaway there between Jays McLeod, Danny Wells, and then Jamie DeFelu, Angel Navarro. That could be part of the reason because of the 78 darting down to the bottom of the racetrack off of 4 that last time around. Oh, wait a minute. Danny Wells maybe trying to eliminate Jays McLeod here. Well, he didn't really go a half groove lower like we normally see them do. Instead, he actually ran the same line as James McLeod. Maybe those two may be working a little bit of an alliance here. And they may become drafting partners if they make it to the final round, as we're going to find out. Entry number 49 now into today's Royal Rumble. Well, as he would so eloquently put it, hold on to your face. Ralph Mason is going to come in at entry number 49 in the 33 machine for Richard Childress Racing. Look out. Whoa. Both Angel Navarro and James McLeod a little squirrely there in the middle of the corner. But Ralph Mason, a former Snickers Cup Series chaser. He was also a former Mobile Cup Series chaser, and he's pretty doggone well, done pretty doggone well in the Mobile and Snickers Cup Series competition here this time. Oh, look out! Oh, my word! Mason's gone, McLeod is gone, Navarro's gone. I don't know if there's anybody else. Jamie DeFelu, Danny Wells, the lone man standing. Just like that, 4 eliminations. Mason slides on his roof back down the front straightaway. He's out. That didn't last long for him. There's Navarro on pit road, McLeod's on pit road, and DeFelu still trying to find his way back onto the track. I think he may have just found it here. Let's see. I think he's come back out. Yep. But there's 4 drivers gone, just like that. And Danny Wells is the lone survivor out of all of them. Smoke there in turn 4. He'll come down to receive the white flag, giving the indication of 1 lap to go. So entries 46 through 49, just poof, just like that, they're gone. Didn't really get to talk much about Ralph Mason. I'll just quickly finish up what I was going to say. He's doing very well right now in the Audi and Snickers Cup Series, and he's also doing well, actually he and his other driver, Wolfgang Mason, both doing well in Mobile and Cup Series competition here in Season 7. As coming out of here of turn 4, Danny Wells has absolutely nobody in his rearview mirror because they've all been eliminated. He'll be the only one to move on to round 50. So we'll find out who he takes on at entry number 50 in just a moment. But as he takes the checkered flag, Flagman was a little late there getting that checkered flag out, but we'll now take a look and see what happened to eliminate 4 drivers just like that. Well, here's how it starts, and I think it was James McLeod going to get into Ralph Mason's left rear right there. Mason goes down onto the apron, brings it back up. There's Navarro. He's going to get collected. Mason goes off the track, and then, oh, Jamie DeFelu had it saved, but then Danny Wells pushes him off the track. So it looks like Danny Wells, unbeknownst to us, actually gets credited with an elimination here. James McLeod going to get credited for the other 3, including himself. I just can't even see Ralph Mason here. Now you'll see him come into that little gap there. I think he's upside down. Yeah, he hit the wall, went upside down. He's actually sliding on his roof down towards the front straightaway. So that's what happened. DeFelu almost had it saved, but Danny Wells punts him out of the way in the midst of all the chaos that happened. And Danny Wells is the lone survivor. Let's see who he's going to take on in entry number 50. And coming in at entry number 50, we just missed the green, but it will be Joshua Balkin in the number 00 Burger King Toyota out of Michael Waltrip Racing. And he and Danny Wells going to be all by their lonesome here, so we may end up just seeing some testing between the two of these drivers. Some good hard racing, but not necessarily any eliminations. Joshua Balkin, this is the first time that I have actually ever seen him on track in an NSRA event. But Balkin is also going to have a buddy of his coming in soon as well. And we'll see if maybe he can survive until his buddy gets in here. We're not going to announce the name yet, because of course it's supposed to be a secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. Danny Wells going to go down to the inside of him now. If you're just joining us, this is the second part of our Royal Rumble. We have had already 50 of the 75 drivers take to the racetrack. And right now, you're looking at the only 2 survivors so far. All other 48 drivers have been eliminated in one way or another. 2 drivers sit atop the list as far as the longest amount of time in the Royal Rumble with 16 rounds apiece. That was Jordan Davis and Cody Hagan. Rachel Atkins not too far behind in second with 15 straight rounds. And so far, the most eliminations of the day has gone to Brad Johnson, who eliminated a total of 5 drivers. That's the most of any driver so far today. Right now, Danny Wells doing very well. And Danny Wells is not exactly known for his non-aggressive driving. So the fact that he's been really conservative today and not really forced the issue or anything and been able to stay out of trouble really has been impressive. I mean, he's obviously a capitalizer too. If you saw him there when he eliminated Jamie DeFelu, that was a perfect elimination. And it's time to find out who's coming in now at entry number 51 as we enter now into our final third of drivers in today's Royal Rumble event. And it's going to be Taylor Rufflington in the number 32 Tide Chevrolet. Rufflington's actually one of Angel Navarro's drivers, and Navarro almost was able to hang on and stick around until his buddy got in here, but no such luck, as it's going to be the MB2 Motorsports Chevrolet, the Tide Chevrolet. MB2 has already had one of its drivers come onto the track today, and that was, of course, Megan Atkins. She has been eliminated, though. She came in at entry number 38. We're now at entry number 51, with the second of the MB2 Motorsports cars coming in. Danny Wells immediately jumps down low. He actually, I think, backed out. He was right on the back bumper of the 32 and bailed out of the throttle, and is going to ride around there in the back. Taylor Rufflington is not any driver that I have ever seen before, so he's making his Royal Rumble debut and his NSCRA debut here today. And we're going to see if maybe he can pull off a little bit of Ricky Craven luck. Remember, Ricky Craven drove that ride. It was a Pontiac then, though, when he ended up beating out Kurt Busch at Darlington. But still, maybe be able to pull off a little bit of Tide luck here as they're going to come down here, receive the white flag. really there's not a whole lot to talk about when there's so few drivers on the racetrack, because they really just ride around until we get up to a big group of cars. So I'm sorry if I'm not really giving you guys a whole lot of good commentary here at this particular point, but it'll get better. The more cars come on track, the better my commentary gets, because there's a lot more to see and a lot more to have to take in. As Joshua Balkin is going to be the leader, Danny Wells and Taylor Rufflington coming off of turn 4. They're going to remain single file. We're going to bring in entry number 52, my favorite number. And we'll see who that's going to be right now. Green flag comes out here. Entry number 52 will be a former Oreo Truck Series champion in Ryan Cooper. And Ryan Cooper and that ride, the number 09 Mizuki Resorts and Casino Chevrolet, have very good numbers and a very good resume here at Talladega Superspeedway. Don't forget, Brad Keselowski ended up putting that 09 in victory lane at Talladega. And Ryan Cooper, in his championship season, the Oreo Truck Series, ended up winning the Talladega race. Oh, man, Rufflington close to the back bumper of the 29. Looks like they're clear, though. But Ryan Cooper ended up picking up the championship by winning the next to last race of the season, which was back, I believe it's season 4, at Talladega Superspeedway. So he knows how to get around this racetrack, and it's been a long time since we've seen Ryan Cooper. As a matter of fact, Ryan Cooper actually made his departure from the NNSCRA right after he won the Oreo Truck Series Championship. So it's nice to see him back here in NNSCRA competition, and we'll see how he's going to be able to adjust after his long tenure away. He'll drop to the back now as Danny Wells out in front. Danny Wells making a case for himself to maybe make himself up a player up there as far as longest survivor. Came in at entry number 43. He so far has survived 10 rounds. So he's hit the double digits in rounds survived. Right now, I don't think anybody's going to be able to get to his back bumper and eliminate him this round, so he'll probably move on to 11 straight rounds. As these four continue to just race amongst themselves, not battling hard, giving each other lots of racing room. And it looks like they all four of them are going to continue on. Well, I spoke too soon. There go a few. And Cooper, I think, got eliminated. Yes, he did. Balkin stays on. And there goes Rufflington, too. I think Balkin may have just pulled off 2 eliminations and saved himself in the process. So I thought we were going to bring in entry number 53. Instead, we're going to jump back to the replay because it looks like Ryan Cooper and Taylor Rufflington will not be moving on. Well, this is something you don't see every day. Watch here. Ryan Cooper is trying to eliminate Joshua Balkin. He's going to get him in the left rear. He's doing it perfectly. Turns him down to the apron. Both cars hit the apron. They get loose. They come up the track. Cooper's going to get Rufflington. And then Cooper himself's going to go off the racetrack. Balkin does not. Cooper tried to eliminate him, and Balkin, with a great save, keeps himself in the Royal Rumble. But Ryan Cooper was not able to hang on after he tried eliminating Balkin, and he's gone. So is Rufflington. Both eliminations will go to Ryan Cooper, but I don't think that the 2 eliminations he got were the 2 he was looking for. I think he was looking to eliminate the 32 and the 00, but instead it's the 32 and himself. So a tough break there for Ryan Cooper and a tremendous save to keep himself in this by Joshua Balkin. Let's bring in entry number 53. Entry number 53 will be Mary Cole in the Wood Brothers Little Debbie Ford. Mary Cole, very big resume in the NNSCRA in the last few seasons, ended up making the Snickers Cup Series chase in her rookie season, which allowed all 4 Tweenix Racing drivers to make the chase that season. Mary Cole also running for Joe Gibbs Racing now in her second year in the Snickers Cup. Not doing too particularly well this season, but stuff could turn around here, and she's going to go down to the inside line now. Mary Cole also had some, if I recall correctly, I think she had some Mobile Cup Series experience when she drove the number 70 machine back when the Mobile Cup Series used this original Cup mod. So she's been in these kind of cars before. And she is out in front here with Danny Wells and Joshua Balkin right behind her. So we're on entry 53, which means we're going to have only 13 more rounds. Or I'm sorry, did I say that wrong? 23 more rounds until we end up having our 10-lap shootout. Will any of these drivers we're looking at right now survive until that final round? It's not impossible. It's unlikely, but it's not impossible. We've seen drivers survive up to as many as 16 straight rounds without being eliminated. As the white flag is displayed, Danny Wells right now has hit the double digits. He's up to, I believe, now 12 straight rounds that he has survived in. I'm trying to look here for the official word. No, it's 11 rounds. 11 rounds that Danny Wells has been able to keep himself in as he's trying to remain the longest enduring driver in this event. He's still got 5-6 more rounds to go, though, so not going to put any pressure on Danny. He's still got a ways to go, but you just got to keep his head cool, and I think he could, because right now we have not seen him in danger's way at all. Coming down here to the checkered flag, Mary Cole, Danny Wells, Joshua Balkin. They'll all move on to the next round. Here comes entry number 54. And entry 54 is going to be the State Water Heaters number 4 Chevrolet of Mason Wood. Mason Wood, I think that the only series he has never been in is Snickers Cup, but he is a former Truck Series and a former Mobile Cup Series driver. Whoa, contact there with Joshua Balkin right there. That was awfully close. We've seen them rub each other before, but that was literally a bump. And a bump and a brush are very different when it comes to restrictor plate racing as far as how easily you're able to hang on to the car and not let it snap out from underneath you. As Balkin's going to go down to the bottom now. Danny Wells helping him there. Mason Wood is a former winner as well in the Truck Series. His latest win, if I remember correctly, it came in Season 5 at Watkins Glen. I believe he also may be a former Mobile Cup Series winner. I'm not certain. I think he was. But anyway, Mason Wood here. It's been a long time since he's been in the NNSCRA, or in an NNSCRA event, and right now, running at the tail end of the field. That's what we're normally seeing is these drivers that come in their debut round, they basically drop to the back, just kind of ride around, see what happens. Then they start to get brave and familiar, and they'll start moving up through the field. You saw Mason Wood made the move on the 00 of Joshua Balkin. Ooh, getting close up here, though. Mary Cole, Mason Wood, Danny Wells. They may mix something up here as the white flag was just displayed. One more round to go. Danny Wells says, okay, I'm getting out of here. He'll jump up to the high side. Mason Wood, whoa, slingshot move down there. Going to help Mary Cole draft on by the 29, and it looks like it's going to work. As Danny Wells going to move to the back. Wait a minute. Whoa, contact. Mary Cole and Mason Wood. Mason Wood nearly shoved the 21 up the track. And Joshua Balkin getting close there to the dotted white line, but he'll keep it still inbounds. They're going to come down here to the checkered flag. Anybody going to wreck? Nope, they keep it together. These four will move on. Bring in entry number 55. Next entry at entry number 55 is going to be Nick Muciola in the number 61 machine. The roadloans.com Ford out of Robert Yates Racing. Nick Muciola is a former Mobile One Cup Series driver. Muciola did not pick up a win in that season, but he drove the number 11 for Joe Gibbs Racing. So Nick Muciola, he ended up actually also getting replaced, as I recall. I'm not exactly sure who it was who replaced him. So he's been away from NNSCRA competition for a while, so we'll see how he can readjust here today in this event. As Mason Wood, Mary Cole, they're going to get away again. The two of them had that little skirmish last round, so I wonder if Mary Cole's remembered that and is maybe planning something on the number 4 Chevrolet up ahead of her. Talking about Danny Wells again, he continues to build up the rounds of surviving. We're up to round 55, which means he's been in here 13 straight rounds. He is getting awfully close to maybe taking the top position for most rounds survived in here, most consecutive rounds that he's been able to stay in the Royal Rumble. Drops to the back there, smart strategy. He may end up advancing yet another round as they'll come down here to the white flag. Really not a whole lot of hard racing right at this moment. A lot of space given between the drivers. I thought for a moment we may have something develop between Mary Cole, Mason Wood, but that has recently died down. Wait a minute, Nick Muciola all over the back bumper of Joshua Balkin now. That may be a little bit of something forming there, but now Muciola dives down to the bottom. Now back up in line again. Couldn't get any run because he had no drafting help. And Mary Cole is still all over the back bumper of Mason Wood. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. They're nose to tail, the front three now. This could be trouble. Mary Cole gets moved up the racetrack by Balkin and hangs on to it. That was close. That was really close. But amazingly, all 5 of them still going to survive. They'll cross the stripe. Let's bring in entry number 56. And it's going to be entry number 56 being Brandon Gonzalez, making his return to NNSCRA competition. And I think he may be the last hope for the DEI cars as well, as Henry Sanford, Joshua Collard, Cole Dowley, they've all been eliminated at one time or another. As the green flag comes out here, they're going to be making contact. Oh, look out, Brandon. Brandon spins it. Brandon spins. There goes Mary Cole. There goes Mason Wood. Brandon tries to save it. Oh, save it, Brandon. Save it, save it, save it. Oh, he's teetering. He's teetering, trying to bring it back down. Oh, whoa, it's flipping. It's barrel rolling. Can he hang on to it? Oh, he crossed the yellow line. Oh, man. I thought he might hang on to it. Mary Cole is out as well. Mason Wood has retired. Well, has retired, but has been eliminated. Oh, man. I thought Brandon was going to stay in it. And we didn't even really get to talk about Brandon Gonzalez. Immediately, he's out. Whoa, Muciola real close on Danny Wells there, too. That was close. Oh, what a tough break for Brandon. Is he still going? No, he's coming to pit road. Mason Wood coming out of 4. So these drivers won't encounter him, so Mason Wood won't have the opportunity to try and eliminate any of these 3, but oh, man. I thought Brandon might have it saved. But Brandon Gonzalez, who may be making his return to the Snickers Cup Series next season, driving the new manufacturer of Mitsubishi. There's been a whole big talk about that. But the white flag's about to be displayed here. Tough break there for Brandon. Man, I thought he had it saved. That would have been certainly one of the big highlights of the day. I think if the car had not barrel rolled, he would have been able to hang on to it. I don't think he would have gone down beneath the yellow line, but I still find it amazing he was able to actually get off the outside of the racetrack there, because normally you get 2 tires, whether they're the front tires, left tires, the right tires, out there on the outside of the racetrack. It's very difficult to get any grip to get yourself back onto the racetrack, so that is such a tough break for Brandon Gonzalez, but almost pulled off one of the most amazing saves in Royal Rumble history. As Joshua Balkin, Danny Wells, Nick Muciola, they're going to transfer into the next round. Let's jump back, look at a replay of what happened to Mary Cole, Mason Wood, and Brandon Gonzalez to eliminate them from the Royal Rumble. This was right at the drop of the green flag. I think Nick Muciola made contact with Mary Cole, turned her down to Brandon Gonzalez. Gonzalez then comes up. They get Mason Wood. Mason Wood is gone. There goes Mary Cole off the racetrack, and we got to watch this with Brandon Gonzalez, because watch this. He loops the car around. I thought he actually was going to loop it 180 degrees and actually save it. But right here he is grinding. Now here's where I thought, you see the 2 front tires on the outside of the racetrack. I thought there was no way he was going to be able to get back onto the track. I thought it would kind of be like what we saw with Henry Nova, where we kind of teeter-tottered there on the edge. But right there's like a little hop there. I don't know how the car hopped, but when it hopped, he could not land it. The car flips upside down, begins to barrel roll down the banking, and there's really just no way you can stop a barrel roll with the degree of banking here at Talladega. And right there, he crosses the yellow line, and that eliminates Brandon Gonzalez from the Royal Rumble. But man, we almost just had an amazing save there on the part of Brandon. Looks like they're going to give all 3 of the eliminations to the 61 of Nick Muciola. Let's jump back now and find out who's going to come in at entry number 57. Entry 57 will be the second of the Rogers brothers, Leo Rogers, the younger of the 2, driving the 40 Coors Light Dodge for Chip Ganassi Racing. I believe that's also the final of the Chip Ganassi cars to come onto the track as well. Leo Rogers is a former Snickers Cup Series driver. If I recall correctly, I believe he drove the number 7 machine for Robbie Gordon Motorsports. Wasn't all that successful, but it's been a long time since we've seen him in NNSCRA competition, so we'll see how he does here today. I'm certain that his brother, Jake Rogers, who just recently made his return to NNSCRA competition in all 3 series, he, I'm sure, gave his younger brother some pointers on what to do out there. Jake Rogers came up earlier, but was eliminated from competition. Single file right now between the top 4. Wait a minute, Danny Wells getting close to the left rear of Joshua Balkin. That's a little more than close. He was there. Did not turn the 00 though. Whoa, look out. Oh, look at this move. Look at this move. 2-car tandem on the high side. Balkin and Wells trying to get around Leo Rogers. Now Danny Wells moves out of line a little bit. Now tucks back in line behind the Burger King Toyota. And they are going to use the high line to get around Leo Rogers. Very nicely done, as they are working a very good two-car draft. Coming down to the white flag. Danny Wells starting to look a little bit more racy now. Not certain if he wants to be doing that, though, because he's done a pretty good job of surviving. Right now, he has survived a total of 15 rounds. Next round, he will tie Cody Hagan and Jordan Davis for the most amount of time in the Royal Rumble. And apparently his crew chief must have just told him that or something, because he backed off the 00 as soon as they got around Leo Rogers in the 40. And they're going to come down here to the checkered flag. This round will be over, and we're going to bring in entry number 58. We're getting closer and closer to the end of this Royal Rumble, folks. Next entry coming in at entry number 58 is going to be Anthony McCrory in the 02 Alltel Ford. Anthony McCrory is a former Snickers Cup Series chaser. He's a former Mobile Cup Series chaser. He's also a former Truck Series chaser, as he's going to make contact right there with Joshua Balkan. To keep it together, though, Nick Muciola all over the back bumper now of Balkan. And, oh, wait a minute. Oh, careful. Oh, boy, that was close. Yikes. Nick Muciola, Josh Balkan, giving me heart failure here. Is Danny Wells going to go to the front? Danny Wells has now tied Jordan Davis and Cody Hagan for the longest amount of time here in the Royal Rumble. If he can survive this round, he'll move on and be the all-time leader so far today for the longest amount of time with 17 rounds. He's currently at 16. Anthony McCrory, the well-known driver who brought Audi into the NNSCRA. McCurry's Audi's actually doing very well, too. Ralph Mason, Noah Hart, and James Silverfox all doing well. Anthony McCrory trying to get his Audi program going. He's also introduced Audi into the Mobile One Cup Series as well. As McCrory dives down to the inside line on the Leo Rogers machine. Doesn't look like it's going to make any move, though. Nick Muciola, though, all over the back bumper of Danny Wells. Now McCrory all over the back bumper of Leo Rogers. Two-car tandems, and then you got Josh Balkan all by himself there at the rear of the field. White flag displayed. Danny Wells continues to lead. Whoa, look out. Look at the run Leo Rogers got. 3 wide to the inside. With a little help there from Anthony McCrory. I believe McCrory and Jake Rogers at one time, maybe in the Snickers Cup Series, they were actually teammates, as right there. McCrory got Leo Rogers a little loose there, so not surprised to see Anthony McCrory and Leo Rogers working together here. It's a little bit of an alliance between the Rogers and the McCrorys. As they're going to come off of 4 there, Leo Rogers nearly had a heart failure problem. Anthony McCrory just got turned off. McCrory's been eliminated, courtesy of Nick Muciola. He couldn't hang on to it. He went beneath the dotted white line, and McCrory is out as soon as he entered. Tough break for Anthony McCrory. He has been eliminated by Nick Muciola. Muciola now has eliminated, I believe, a total of 4 drivers, as we'll bring in entry number 60 now. Or no, 59. And entry 59 is going to be Joseph Lombard in the 88. His younger brother Zachary, or his brother Zachary, I don't know if he's older or younger, came up earlier in the 38 machine. Now we'll see how Joseph Lombard does in the Snickers Ford. Nick Muciola is right now a driver that is entirely different from other eliminators that we have seen. He is still on the racetrack. A lot of times we see drivers get credited with eliminations, and most oftentimes one of the eliminations is themselves. Nick Muciola, though, has been able to eliminate a total of 4 drivers so far and still is in the running of this event. So Nick Muciola definitely showing that he has the system down of being able to eliminate drivers but not eliminate yourself. As right now he is the leader over the rest of these guys. Danny Wells, we want to congratulate him. He has now taken the all-time lead so far for the longest driver in the Royal Rumble. Right now Danny Wells has survived 17 rounds. And he'd love to be able to hit the 20s. That would be, I think, an unprecedented record here in the Royal Rumble if he could do that. Danny Wells has been in since entry number 43, and we're getting close to entry number 60. So he's been in it for a long time. He's trying to make it to that final round. As the white flag's displayed, right now everybody looks like they're doing okay. Nobody looks like they're going to wreck each other just yet. Well, I spoke too soon, Danny. Oh, no, Danny, don't eliminate yourself this soon. All over the back bumper of Joseph Lombard. That was close. They're keeping it together, though. I thought Nick Muciola and Joshua Balkan may end up getting together or something. As they come off the final corner here, are all 5 of these drivers going to make it? Looks like they just might. So Danny Wells continues to grow his lead as far as the longest driver in this Royal Rumble, and all 5 will move on. Let's bring in entry number 60. Coming in at entry number 60 is going to be Luke Martin in the number 26 Crown Royal Ford out of Roush Fenway Racing. And we're now up to 6 drivers once again, and this is when stuff gets a little bit testy. We've been able to make it up. I think the biggest group of drivers we've had so far before eliminations occurred was 8 drivers. I don't think we quite made it to 9, but then again, that was just so long ago. This Royal Rumble has moved on awfully quickly, and we've only got 15 more entrants ready to enter the fray before we enter into the 10-lap segment. Oh, Luke Martin right there got a little squirrely, a little bit of a bump from Joshua Balkin, and right there you saw Joseph Lombard dart out of line. I think he made some contact with the 00 as well. Leo Rogers out ahead of all this mayhem. Nick Muciola right there, but here comes Luke Martin, 3 wide for the top position. Now these drivers, they're obviously not battling for the lead because really, if you win a segment, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to count as any points towards you or anything. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get out there for 2 things. Clean air and an opportunity to be ahead of anything that might break out. It's kind of a defensive move, if you will. And right now, Luke Martin wants to keep himself in for more than 1 round, and so he's going to get himself to the lead. Nick Muciola right behind him. And oh, wait a minute, somebody spotted. Oh, that was Joseph Lombard, and he took someone else with him. Was that Danny Wells? I think it could have been. Oh, and there goes Leo Rogers, Joshua Balkin. They're eliminated. They just went beneath the yellow line there on the inside. So we're looking here at 2 drivers that I think are the only 2 that are going to survive for the next round. Nick Muciola and Luke Martin. There's Rogers, there's Balkin. Danny Wells on pit road, Joseph Lombard on pit road. I'm pretty sure those 2 got together. As they're going to come down here to the stripe, Nick Muciola, Luke Martin, those 2 going to survive. 4 drivers were eliminated. 2 different incidents. One right there, we see the smoke, and the other one in turn 1. Let's take a look at some replays. Well, let's see what happens here. Danny Wells goes to the inside of Joseph Lombard. Lombard actually tries to, I think, tuck down back in front of Danny Wells' machine, but Danny's going to get into his left rear. Danny Wells going to get credited with both these eliminations here. Turns him down onto the apron. Danny Wells' car immediately flips over on its roof, so he had no control over whether that car was going to go off the track or not. And Joseph Lombard's car actually had 2 left side tires off the racing surface, so he really didn't have much control over his machine as well. And both of them you see slid outside of the inbounds area of the track. And then this was the other elimination. 2 eliminations going to go to Joshua Balkin as he gets into the left rear headed into turn 1 of Leo Rogers' Dodge. Both of them going to go down, and I'm pretty certain, yeah, both of them clearly down there beneath the yellow line, and so both of them are eliminated from the Royal Rumble as well. So Danny Wells picks up 2 eliminations, and Joshua Balkin picks up 2 eliminations. Both of those eliminations, though, counted themselves as well. Nick Muciola and Luke Martin will move on, who's entry number 61. And coming in at number 61 is going to be Kyle Matthews in the number 50 machine. As they come down here to the stripe, the bright yellow, I believe that's a NASCAR Day sponsorship on that Pontiac. And I thought that Sean Henley was actually the only Pontiac in this Royal Rumble. Apparently I was wrong. Kyle Matthews there in the 50 is a Pontiac as well. A few things we got to update on here real quickly. We'll first talk about Kyle Matthews. Kyle Matthews actually just came off a victory in the Snickers Cup Series a couple of weeks ago. He ended up winning at the Milwaukee Mile. And he's also doing very well over in the Oreo Truck Series. He also runs full-time in the Mobile Cup Series in the 89 machine, where he's having a rather, 50-50 season there. But Kyle Matthews has really established himself as far as an NNSCRA racer. And we'll see how he does here today, coming in at entry number 61. Now, Danny Wells was eliminated in the last round. He now is the all-time leader for most rounds that he has survived here in this Royal Rumble here this year with 18. The only driver who has a possibility of being able to beat him now would be Nick Muciola. Muciola came in at entry number 55. He would have to survive until entry number 29 in order to, no, he doesn't have to survive that far. How far does he have to survive? He has to survive to entry number 70, I was right, 74, in order to beat Danny Wells. As the white flag's out, these three going to race themselves here. So unless Nick Muciola is able to survive until the very end of this event, pretty much, Danny Wells is going to get the award for lasting the longest in the Royal Rumble, 18 consecutive rounds. Luke Martin, Nick Muciola, and Kyle Matthews do not appear that they want to eliminate each other just yet. So it looks like they're going to give the field the opportunity to build itself back up once again. Checkered flag going to be waving this time around. Let's bring in now entry number 62. Next driver to join is going to be the MB2 Motorsports Chevrolet number 01 U.S. Army of Joshua Balkowitz. Now, Joshua Balkin is a friend of Joshua Balkowitz, and he just was recently eliminated, so that's a tough break for Balkowitz. He's not going to have somebody to be able to work with here, so he's got to do it his own against Kyle Matthews, Nick Muciola, and Luke Martin, but we'll see how he does. He's the next to last of the MB2 Motorsports cars. There's still one more to go. We don't know where Annie Thomas is going to come in, but she still has not entered into today's event. Kyle Matthews getting a nice little shove there from Nick Muciola. As Matthews will go to the lead. Wait a minute. Whoa, Muciola looked like he might have been thinking about eliminating Matthews. Meanwhile, Luke Martin looked like he was thinking about eliminating Muciola. Now he backs out, though, and the 50 and the 61 are going to pull away and open up some daylight between themselves and Balkowitz and Martin. Lots of room there, at least a car length, maybe more between the 61 and the 50. They don't want to be rubbing doors, especially the car on the outside line. You get a little shove, you may not think it, but that little touch can send you up about 6 or 7 grooves up the racetrack, and this track doesn't have 6 or 7 grooves. You go up 6 or 7 grooves, you're going to be airborne. Right now we got 2 packs of 2 as they come down to the white flag. Muciola, Kyle Matthews running together, Luke Martin and Balkowitz running together. Well, actually Balkowitz is dropped back about a car length more behind the 26. Just trying to keep in the draft. You know, I've been a little surprised. I mean, I know these drivers want to be up here. They want to be racing. They want to be in the draft. But I'm surprised no driver has actually attempted to just basically run the minimum speed and be way, way, way back behind everybody else. They wouldn't get penalized because there's no disqualifications. And it would keep them in the Royal Rumble longer, I would think. But there's the checkered flag. We're getting ready to put 5 cars on the racetrack. Entry 63 is coming up. And coming in, entry 63 is going to be a former Snickers Cup Series Rookie of the Year, Alex Tanker. Well, actually, no, it's not a Rookie of the Year. Alex Tanker is actually, I think, the brother to Alan Tanker, who actually was the Rookie of the Year of the Snickers Cup Series. Got the two of them confused. But Alex Tanker does have some experience as well in NNSCRA racing. He was a full-time driver back, I think it was in Season 4 of the Mobile One Cup Series. And he's driving the number 98 McDonald's Dodge here today. Entry number 63 is when he comes in, so that means that we only have a total of 12 more drivers left to come out here on the racetrack before we get to that final 10-lap segment to determine the winner of the Royal Rumble. If you're just joining us, we have 3-lap intervals here with each driver. And then at the very end, after entry 75 comes in, we have one last 3-lap dash, and then all surviving drivers take part in a 10-lap, no disqualification, no cautions finish. And the first one to the line is going to be declared the winner of the 4th annual NNSCRA Royal Rumble. One driver that we have not had come out yet, so he obviously drew himself a good number, is Charles Jackson, the defending race winner of this event. He won last season. The last time we held this event, the 3rd annual Royal Rumble, he was the winner. And we're going to have to see if he's going to be coming in pretty soon, because we're getting down to just a few drivers left. And it looks like all 5 of these drivers are going to continue on as they received the white flag last time around. They're running single file here out of turn 4 this time. I don't think that there's going to be any problems for any of these drivers. Down to the checkered flag they come. These 5 will continue on. Let's find out entry number 64. Entry number 63 into the Royal Rumble is going to be Patrick Scroggins in the 7. And this brings back a little bit of nostalgia for me. Patrick Scroggins was a full-time driver in the Snickers Cup Series back in, I think it was either Season 3 or Season 4. I think it was Season 3, actually, when he drove the number 7 Dodge from Robbie Gordon Motorsports. So, Patrick Scroggins back here in an NNSCRA event. It's great to have him back. Kind of a name from the past, if you will, and he's driving the number 7 Chevrolet, again, out of Robbie Gordon Motorsports. So, we'll see how he does here in his NNSCRA return. As, whoa, Tanker almost went up there into Luke Martin. Martin moves way up the track to give him lots of room that time. Kyle Matthews, though, gets awfully close to the left rear contact, and there goes Bolkowicz. Bolkowicz is off. Kyle Matthews is off. And Luke Martin, I think, just survived all that. But Bolkowicz is out. He just slid across the outside and the inside out-of-bounds areas, and Kyle Matthews was down beneath the yellow line as well. Quite a save by Luke Martin if he was the one that I saw actually get turned around. White flag displayed. So Bolkowicz is out. So too is Kyle Matthews. Bolkowicz came in at 62. Kyle Matthews came in at 61. Neither of them are going to win the Royal Rumble. There you see the skid marks when Bolkowicz came from the outside of the track back down to the inside. So even if he had saved it, heading towards the outside of the track, he slid across the yellow line of the back straightaway, which eliminates him again. And they're getting racy up here again. They're going to be 2 by 2 coming down to the line. Who's going to win this drag race? That should be interesting. Photo finish. And I think Scroggins, nope, Tanker. They scored Tanker as the leader there. So that might have been a little bit of strategy there of the two of those two-car tandems. Thinking about maybe the final lap of a 10-lap segment if they make it there. But let's find out two drivers that will not make it there. Kyle Matthews and Joshua Bolkowicz, as they have been eliminated. Let's look at a replay of what happened to them. Alright, watch left side of your screen. Kyle Matthews going to make contact with Luke Martin. Now watch Luke. Did Luke get eliminated? Oh, wait a minute. Luke Martin is out of the race too. I didn't even see that. He got eliminated. He went down beneath the yellow line. There you see Bolkowicz. He's going to go off the racetrack, and there you see Kyle Matthews go beneath the yellow line too, but I'm pretty certain that Luke Martin has been eliminated as well. Right there. Yep, there's the yellow line. He is clearly beneath it. So I thought Luke Martin was going to advance. He's not either, so he's going to be eliminated too. And all three of these eliminations are going to go to Kyle Matthews. So Matthews eliminates himself as well as Bolkowicz and Luke Martin from the Royal Rumble. 3 of them are going to move on, bringing in entry number 65. And coming in at entry number 65 is going to be the Penske Dodge, number 77 Kodak of Red Bell. Now, her boyfriend, Trent Dunham, was up earlier. And Dunham had a bit of difficulty, wasn't really in the Royal Rumble for very long. I think he lasted 3 rounds before he was eliminated by Emma White. So Red Bell going to try and make it into the Royal Rumble's final 10-lap shootout. Coming in at the point when we're going to be counting down the final 10 drivers after this. Red Bell is a very well known female racer in the 2003 community. I think she and Jessica Shelton would pretty much be considered the 2 most noted NR 2003 female racers. And Red Bell's got some good numbers in NSRA competition too. Red Bell is a former Snickers Cup Series chaser. She also has won the Sprint Unlimited at Daytona in the Snickers Cup Series, so she obviously knows how to get around restrictor plate tracks. And she actually did that in a Everham Dodge, the number 19 at that point. She's in a Penske Dodge today, so we'll see how she does. Dodge, restrictor plate track, Red Bell. Seems like a good combination to me. As Nick Muciola will take his turn out in front. Tanker right behind him. Right now we have one Chevy, or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, one Chevy, one Ford, and 2 Dodges. Single file between the top 4. Muciola, remember, he's still trying to be able to beat Danny Wells' record, which is still possible. Came in at entry number 55. So far, he has survived 11 rounds, including this one. He would have to survive pretty much all the way to the end of this event, though, in order to be the driver that's been in this Royal Rumble the longest, as Alex Tanker now goes to the bottom, drafting help from Red Bell and Patrick Scroggins. Whoa. he got really loose right there. Either was trying to go to the middle with some momentum, or he couldn't hang on to it there in turn 2. Whatever the case, though, looks like these 4 not really willing to eliminate each other just yet. We normally don't see eliminations until we get up to about 6, 7, 8 drivers. And did I miss the checkers? I did miss the checkers. Okay, so they move on, and let's bring in next number entry. We're counting down our final 10 now. Entry 66 is on his way. Well, as we count it down, entry number 66 is going to be Chris Washer in the Net Zero Chevrolet. That's a ride out of Haas Racing. Haas Racing actually still has another entry to come as well, Ashley LaPlante in the 70, and we'll be seeing when she comes in shortly. So I got 3B3 wide here on the start. Chris Washer is a current Snickers Cup Series driver. As a matter of fact, he did a very good job for Robbie Gordon Motorsports in the 7 machine in Season 6. Came in, ran a limited schedule, and did very, very well. Then moved over full-time to the number 10 machine out of Everham Motorsports. Washer is also a Truck Series driver and Mobile Cup Series driver, as both Muciola and Patrick Scroggins flirt with the dotted white line out of 4. And this is when it starts getting down to the nitty-gritty, because at this particular point, it's more possible now for these drivers to move into that final 10-lap segment. They've only got to survive 9 more rounds after this, now with the entrance of Chris Washer. So, you know, I don't know if they're going to race each other hard to eliminate each other, because keep in mind that in the 10-lap segment, I may have not said this at the very beginning, too, during the 10-lap segment, you can try and eliminate people if you want to. Now, the only difference is there are no really eliminations, but you are allowed to turn other drivers and not be disqualified for it during that 10-lap segment. So, in other words, let's say, just for instance, let's say all 5 of these drivers do make it into the final 10-lap shootout. Let's say that the current leader right now, Nick Muciola, gets turned around into the infield. Well, that would result in an elimination if we were doing it under the elimination rules at that point. But if he spins it out and continues on and there's a big wreck up ahead and everybody wrecks, Muciola still, even though he did go down beneath the yellow line, it would not result in an elimination. He could come back around and still win the thing. It's basically a no cautions, go for it attitude, where eliminations will not count, and that only takes place in that final 10-lap segment. As the checkered flag waves, these 5 move on. Bring in entry number 67. Entry 67 enters in. That's going to be the Roush Fenway Ford number 97 of Daniel Day. There you see him there on the inside line at the back. Daniel Day coming in at entry 67, as I said, and I believe he's actually the last hope. Oh, look out! There's Muciola! Save it, Muciola! Oh, Muciola's going to try and save it! Oh! Muciola is out. He tried to hang on to it. I think Daniel Day may have actually just gone beneath the yellow line as well. I don't know. That would have been an attempt to avoid the spinning 61, but I think Daniel Day may be out of it as well. That's a tough break for Daniel Day. I was just about to say that I think he's the last hope for Roush Fenway, but actually Charles Jackson's still in this too, in the 16. He's still got to enter, but Daniel Day may have just been eliminated, and Nick Muciola is not going to be in the running for longest amount of time here in the Royal Rumble, which means that officially now we can state that Danny Wells is going to be given the award for longest amount of time survived in the Royal Rumble with 18 rounds. Congratulations to Danny on that feat. Fortunately for him, he's not going to be able to be around here in the finish to try and win the Royal Rumble, but still he'll be able to leave with his head held high, as we, I believe, have had 2 eliminations. Nick Muciola is one. Daniel Day could be the other. I'm pretty certain I saw him go down beneath the yellow line on towards the apron in order to avoid Nick Muciola. If that's the case, tough break for Daniel Day. Just came in here. We got 1 lap. Why don't we just talk about Daniel Day's success in the NNSCRA. He's only raced, I believe, in Mobile Cup Series competition. Drove the 66 one season, drove the 22 in the current season 7. Not a whole lot of success has come his way in those 2 seasons, but you know, stuff can still change as they're going to come down here to the checkered flag. I'm pretty certain we're looking at the 4 that are going to move on. Nick Muciola has been eliminated, and Daniel Day may have been eliminated as well. Let's jump back and see what happened to the both of them. Now, I'm curious to know what's going to happen here. I mean, I didn't really see anything break out until I saw the smoke. So I don't really know how this whole incident unfolds. May have something to do with Daniel Day turning into Chris Washer. Yep, right there. And there you see Daniel Day. Yep, he was on the apron going around the 61. He actually took a little bit of a elevation change there on that 97. Nice job holding on to it. And then Musiola right there. That tire, that left rear was his last hope, and it went past the yellow line, and so he is out as well. So Daniel Day and Nick Musiola, they're both out. The elimination for both of them is going to go to Daniel Day, because he ended up turning the 0 down into the 61, but both of them are out. Let's bring in entry number 68 now. We now have 5 cars on the racetrack after that elimination of both Nick Musiola and Daniel Day in the last round, and Ashley LaPlante comes in as entry number 68. She's the final of the Haas machines, and this may be a coup for Chris Washer. We'll see if LaPlante and Washer work together here, because both those drivers are driving machines out of the same stables. Ashley LaPlante, she is a former Snickers Cup Series driver. She drove a season, it was either season 3 or season 4. Oh, almost just eliminated right there. That was close. But she drove a season with the Robert Yates number 38 team, I believe. It was either the 38 or the 37. Actually, I think it was the 37. I believe her brother Austin drove the 38 that same season. So she does have some experience, but it's been quite a while since we've seen Ashley LaPlante in a NNSCRA event, and we'll see how she does here. Coming in with the benefit of a very late number, as they are single file right now, the 5 cars that are on the racetrack at the moment. Now Ashley got a little loose there. I thought she may actually be darting to the inside of Patrick Scroggins, but Ashley appears to have gotten squirrely. Red Bell now jumps up to the high side, white flag in the air. One more lap around, and then we'll bring in entry number 69, which isn't going to be Sean Henley, so that's rather sad. Henley already eliminated, and he won't be coming in at entry 69. Anyways, right now Chris Washer, Patrick Scroggins, those two are ahead. LaPlante there in third, and Alex Tanker now looking to the inside of Red Bell, who will now slip to the back. And these 5, good racing, but no eliminations. Let's bring in a 6th driver as we look now at entry number 69. Well, entry number 69 will not be Sean Henley, but it will be a Sean Galligan in the number 45 Wells Fargo Dodge out of Petty Enterprises, comes in at entry number 69. Sean Galligan, a former Mobil 1 Cup Series champion. He's also a former Daytona race winner. He's got a lot of good resume stuff as far as restrictor plate tracks goes. They're going to be 4 wide here from the start off. This is shades of the beginning of the Royal Rumble, and that's what makes me a little nervous, because at the beginning of the Royal Rumble we had elimination after elimination, and oh my goodness gracious, Red Bell, nice move to be able to get out of that 4 wide potential into turn 3. She'll go to the bottom now on Chris Washer. Washer's got Ashley LaPlante all over his back bumper. I don't know if that was bump drafting or if that was an elimination attempt. Whichever the case, it got the 70 car awfully squirrely. Further back there, Sean Galligan's got a rear deck lid completely full of Patrick Scroggins. Now he'll pull down in front of Alex Tanker. And whoa, Ashley LaPlante gets into Red Bell there. A little bit of a female rivalry, and that was close. They keep it clean, though. 6 drivers on track at the current moment. This is when trouble usually seems to break out as well. Give each other quite a bit of room here going through 3 and 4. Sean Galligan almost went down and touched the apron there, it looked like. I think he almost went down, put 2 left sides on that yellow line. You don't really want to get close to that apron, because you touch it just wrong, it's going to snap your car right up the racetrack, and there's nothing you can do about it. 1 more lap to go. These drivers all going to try and make their way into the next round, as after this, we're bringing in entry number 70, and then there's only 5 more entries left before the 10-lap dash. Will we be seeing all 6 of these drivers in that 10-lap shootout, with the other 6 drivers yet to come? Time will tell, as they're going to come off of 4 for the final time here in this round. And it looks like everybody's going to be good here. Yeah, everybody giving each other lots of room on the front straightaway. Wait a minute, Chris Washer, Sean Galligan, that was a little close there in the tri-oval, but they will all cross the start-finish line. Let's bring in entry number 70. Well, we seem to be bringing in the former champions now, as John Cittadino comes in at entry number 70. He's a former Snickers Cup Series champion, and Patrick Scroggs, Chris Washer bounce off each other. They're heading into one. Close call there. John Cittadino driving the number 67 Jasper Engines and Transmissions Ford. That's a ride that's being given to him out of Roush Fenway Racing. And you see him there, that silver machine there at the very back of the pack. He's a former Snickers Cup Series champ. And there goes Sean Galligan. He's got limited by Tanker and Tanker. I think Galligan just came up right in front of Cittadino. But Cittadino looks like still in it. Cittadino still is in it. I think Galligan came right up in front of him. Tanker is gone. Red Bell is gone. So is Galligan. And I think John Cittadino almost was collected in that. How he wasn't out, I'm not sure. I'm pretty certain I saw the 45 come darting right back up in front of the 67. But apparently Cittadino is still in at this point. We'll have to go back, look at a replay to confirm if he still is in. That's a tough break, though, for Red Bell, Sean Galligan, and Alex Tanker. Alex Tanker had been in the longest of those three. He had come in at entry number 63. What in the world is going on with Chris Washer? He's slow. Look out. Oh, something happened up here. They had to avoid Galligan. Checkered flag waves, or the white flag's waving. Galligan's coming back on the track. Oh, that was Tanker that came back on the track. They had to avoid Tanker coming back. Did he eliminate anybody is the question. Wait, who's back there? Oh, it's John Cittadino. Cittadino's out. Cittadino just entered, so wait a minute. We're going to have to really jump back, look at a few replays here to find out what's going on, because all these drivers could be out for all we know. But they'll come off of 4 here. Scroggins and LaPlante are the two that are currently running at the current moment. Cittadino, we know for certain, is out. Tanker, Red Bell, and Galligan are out, but what about the other guys? Let's find out. Alright, we're looking first at the incident with Sean Galligan, Alex Tanker, Red Bell. Oh, Red's the one that makes the elimination here. She turns into Galligan. Galligan wheel hops it, comes back up the track, and oh, right there was John Cittadino. I thought he got collected, but he didn't, and then Galligan comes up, swoops the 98 and the 77 right off the racetrack. So Red Bell going to get credited with those eliminations right there. Oh, wow. Red Bell right on top of the Sean Galligan machine. I could make a comment about that, but I'm not going to. And wow. Okay, so now we got to jump up to, I think it's something that happens with this machine. Let's fast forward it a bit. He's going to come out of the front straightaway. Alright. Now he's going to make some kind of evasive move, will Alex Tanker, to come back onto the track here. And this is right at the middle of the trioval. The leaders are coming at this particular moment. He's going to go off the track that way, slide it around. Scroggins gets by. LaPlante gets by. Oh, and Cittadino apparently went down, clipped the apron, and he went off. And there's Chris Washer. So apparently Chris Washer stayed on, I guess. So Cittadino, trying to avoid, actually went down, hit the apron, and it shot his car off the track. So it looks like, according to the officials, Patrick Scroggins, Ashley LaPlante, and Chris Washer, those three will continue on. Everybody else, though, has been eliminated. Red Bell eliminates herself, as well as Alex Tanker and Sean Galligan, and John Cittadino eliminates himself in the process. So let's now find out entry number 71. Well, I was wondering when this ride was going to come in. The number 24 DuPont Chevrolet out of Hendrick Motorsports, Charles Sanford, comes in at entry number 71. Sanford is a former Daytona 500 winner, picked up the Daytona 500 victory for Michael Waltrip Racing in Season 7 of the Snickers Cup Series, and is doing very well in the point standings at the current moment as well. He's also a driver over in, former driver, I should say, in trucks, and is a current driver in Mobile and Cup Series competition. So the 24, very lucky to draw a very late number here. As right now, the total amount of drivers we can possibly now have in the 10-lap dash are going to be 8. 4 more entries still to come, 4 drivers on the racetrack. So it looks like it's going to be a rather small field to battle it out for the 10-lap shootout here for the Royal Rumble victory, but it could be even less than 8 here still, because we still have 4 more entries, and there could still be an elimination that could come up at any moment. Charles Sanford, I'm looking down through the list. I don't think with the other drivers that are potentially going to be coming in, I don't think there are any more Hendrick cars. I think he's the last Hendrick machine. Matthew Daly was recently eliminated. P.J. Williams was eliminated. Whoa, look out. Oh, no, wait, I'm wrong. There is another Hendrick car that still is going to be coming in at some point. So, no, Sanford is not the only hope for Hendrick. Right now, though, Haas Racing looking good. Both their drivers, Chris Washer, Ashley LaPlante, have been able to survive, and Robbie Gordon Motorsports' Patrick Scroggins is still in the hunt as well. Whoa, Sanford gets Ashley! Collects Scroggins, and there goes Washer! They're all gone! Oh my goodness! Just like that, they all have been eliminated. Sanford, Washer, LaPlante, and Scroggins. And none of them even were able to come down and take the checkers. Well, this is rather unusual. We've at least had one survivor every time. I don't think we've had to bring in 2 new drivers, but it looks like we're going to have to. But we're going to first look back at a replay. All 4 competitors are gone just like that. This was Charles Sanford, who got the elimination of all 4 drivers, including himself. Right here, gets into the left rear of the Ashley LaPlante machine. The apron they hit. They come back up. Scroggins, nowhere to go. Chris Washer completely pile drive the 24, and there they all go off the outside of the outer perimeter of the racetrack, and all 4 of them are eliminated. Scroggins, Sanford, Washer, all into the outside part of the track, hitting it hard. You can see there, that was the Ashley LaPlante machine that flew above the crowd there, top of your screen, and all 4 of them are gone. Sanford eliminates 4 drivers, but now, we may end up having just 4 drivers that are going to battle it out for the win here in the Royal Rumble, because there's only 4 drivers left, and we're going to be bringing in 2 of them. Entries number 72 and 73 now are going to come onto track, so we at least have 2 drivers racing in our next round. Well, I'm a little surprised it took us this long, but for the first time here in the Royal Rumble, we are going to have 2 drivers have to come onto the racetrack in order to make up for all the drivers that were previously in the other round being eliminated. So coming in at entry number 72, that is Dylan Poteet, and the number 25 for Hendrick Motorsports, and the number 07 for Richard Childress Racing will be entry number 73, that is Sam Young. So these 2 come in with a little bit of a benefit because they're not going to be racing any more than 4 drivers. Now we've seen it usually takes about 5 to 8 drivers on track for eliminations to begin, so Sam Young, Dylan Poteet, they may actually, with the benefit of having a high drawing number, may have just punched their ticket into the final 10-lap shootout. Still 2 more entries that are going to have to come. But you're looking right here, folks, at the only 2 survivors of 73 drivers that have entered the Royal Rumble so far. It really has been difficult for drivers to stay in it. A lot of them have really tried, names like Cody Hagan and Rachel Atkins, Danny Wells. But apparently it just wasn't to be, and right now, Dylan Poteet would like to make it only 1 or 2 drivers he'd have to race against. As they come down here to the line, white flag is going to be displayed. Poteet now dives the inside. Poteet is a former runner-up in the Oreo Truck Series chase for the championship. He's been close on numerous occasions of picking up an NNSCRA championship, just hasn't been able to quite do it. And Sam Young, we haven't seen him in the NNSCRA since, we haven't seen him since season 3 or 4. He does run in the NRSL Reese's Rally Car Series, which is over on this channel, so we've at least seen him on the channel, just not in an NNSCRA sanctioned event. As they come down to the checkered flag, Sam Young, Dylan Poteet try and keep their hopes alive as they will cross the stripe and they will move on. Let's take a look and see who entry number 74 now will be. Coming in at entry number 74 is going to be the MB2 Motorsports number 13 Certainteed Chevrolet of Annie Thomas. Now, Annie Thomas is the first time we've ever seen her in an NNSCRA event. She, I believe, is a driver over at Victory Racing, which is run by Daniel Voiles. Voiles ended up coming in at entry 35, and I believe he was eliminated in the same round that he entered. As Sam Young, he's going to go to the front. Dylan Poteet, rather, not Dylan Young. He's going to be second, and Andy Thomas falls to the back. These three, I don't expect them to race each other real hard here because we got one more entrant. I think I know who it is, too. I think I know who our final entrant is going to be. And these three want to be able to take on that final entrant in the final round and then in the 10-lap segment to finish off today's race. Single file right now, all Chevrolets, but three different teams. RCR, Hendrick, and MB2. Whoa, Andy Thomas. Strong move there to the inside. Sticks Poteet in the middle. They'll race three wide through turns 3 and 4. Settle it back out to double wide, coming down here to the white flag. Through the tri-oval they come. Big thing that's going to be a big factor here in the final stages, especially the 10-lap segment, is the fact that the start-finish line is down near turn 1 and not in the front straightaway. Wait a minute, Sam Young maybe thinking about kicking Annie Thomas out of the final round, but Annie Thomas able to hold her ground. Sam Young thinks better of it, tucks in line. Really, I don't think it would be to any of these drivers' benefits to actually try and make an elimination here because they're so close. They're really, really close. They might as well just ride around and then wait to get aggressive in the 10-lap shootout. As Annie Thomas, Sam Young, Dylan Poteet, they're going to come down to the stripe, checker flag waves. Time for our final entrant, and there's going to be a big story here because I'm pretty certain I know who it's going to be. Well, as I said, folks, at the top of the program, these numbers were drawn at random. And who would have thought that last year's Royal Rumble winner, Charles Jackson, would luck out and get the final number today. Entry number 75 is going to be the AmeriQuest number 16 Ford out of Roush Racing. Charles Jackson looking for back-to-back Royal Rumble victories. Let's see if he can do it. He's got to survive this round here, though, with Sam Young, Dylan Poteet, and Annie Thomas as they're three wide here at the drop of the green. Charles Jackson, no doubt about it. Luck was certainly on his side today. He's had the opportunity to be able to observe all 74 competitors before taking his turn on the racetrack. And everybody else has had to survive 2, 3, even, 70, 75 rounds. But Charles Jackson only has to survive one, and boom, he's in the running for a win, his second win in the NNSCRA Royal Rumble. Can he go back-to-back? He's got to beat Sam Young, Dylan Poteet, Annie Thomas if those three do make it into the final 10-lap segment, which, quite honestly, I don't see why they wouldn't, unless someone decides to get overly aggressive here on these next 1.5 laps. Poteet slides right up in front of Sam Young. That was a rather risky move. Sam, though, backs out of the throttle, lets him in. Here comes Charles down to the inside, looking to go to the front. Whoa, Annie Thomas got close to the back of Sam Young. Actually got herself loose. And still hangs on to it, though, as they're going to come down here to the white flag. You may be looking, folks, at the four drivers that are going to settle it out for the win here in the Royal Rumble. Charles Jackson, Sam Young, Dylan Poteet, and Annie Thomas. Two seasoned veterans, a driver that has a seasoned veteran for a brother and is pretty well immersed in NR 2003 racing himself, and a driver that we've never seen before here in an NNSCRA sanctioned event. It looks like it's going to come down between those four, and one of them is the defending Royal Rumble race winner. Here they come out of turn 4, all four of them giving plenty of room. They want to move into the final 10-lap final round. As they come to the checkers, there they are, Charles Jackson, Sam Young, Dylan Poteet, and Annie Thomas. It's time for the 10-lap shootout. Let's go to it now. Here is the moment we've all been waiting for. 10 laps, 4 drivers. At the end of this, the first driver to the stripe is going to be declared the winner of the 4th annual NNSCRA Royal Rumble. Green flag is out. It's Sam Young. I just forgot her name. Doggone it. Annie Thomas. Yes, Charles Jackson and Dylan Poteet. These four are going to decide it. Eliminations do not count, and this is the only segment of this entire event, this long 75-entry event, that is going to count where the leader is actually the leader. I said all Royal Rumble long that they can be out in front in clean air, but that does not get them any special privileges. Here now in this segment, you want to be out in front, and look at them ganging up on the high side against Charles Jackson. They don't want him to go back-to-back. Sam Young, Dylan Poteet, and Annie Thomas all working together there on the high side to get around the 16 machine. You can turn a driver, you can try and take a driver out at your own risk. It does count, but it will not count as an elimination. For instance, if Charles Jackson, Dylan Poteet, and Sam Young all wreck and Annie Thomas had been spun earlier, she can come around past all of them and be the leader. It's basically a survival 10 laps. As Annie Thomas now goes to the lead off of Sam Young. Charles Jackson now trying to get a run on the inside of the 07. Here he comes, and drafting help from Dylan Poteet. You see Poteet go down there, almost flirt with the dotted white line. He can do that. If he went down beneath the dotted white line now, there's no eliminations. You can make any kind of move necessary to try and get to the front, and you do not get penalized for it at all. Charles Jackson right on the back bumper of Annie Thomas. Charles Jackson trying to make NNSCRA history here by becoming a back-to-back Royal Rumble winner. And it looks like he's going to try and get a run to the inside of Annie Thomas. Will Thomas try and throw a block? Oh, my goodness, she did. And Charles just barely bailed out of the throttle in time. It's a wonder Dylan Poteet didn't run into the back of him, because here comes Poteet. He touches Charles. Charles moved up the track just a little bit there. Poteet may have been trying to take Charles Jackson out of the equation, but Charles hangs on. 4 laps complete. Actually, we're on lap 4. So we got a total of 7 to go. Oh, Sam Young trying to take out Poteet, trying to get him. Oh, Poteet hangs on just barely. That was awfully close. Sam Young nearly had Dylan Poteet out of the equation, but Poteet now going to use that to his advantage. He'll go to the inside of Annie Thomas. That's for the lead again. Who would have thought after 75 drivers came to the track, it'd be only 4 that were going to settle it out here in the final round of the Royal Rumble. As Sam Young, Annie Thomas, they're going to work together on the high side against Dylan Poteet. Annie Thomas goes back out in front. Poteet, no help down there on the inside line. And now Annie Thomas will jump down to the low line. Sam Young going to tuck in front of Dylan Poteet and move into second. Charles Jackson now is left without a friend. He's on the high side. He'll slip to the back, I would think, behind Dylan Poteet in fourth. Halfway down the back straightaway, this is a halfway point of this 10-lap segment, and all 4 drivers are still right there in the hunt. Annie Thomas has spent the most time out in front, I would think. Sam Young right behind her. He seems pretty dedicated to working with the Certainty Chevrolet. He worked with her on the high side there, and then at the very beginning of the race, he and Poteet and Annie Thomas all worked together against Charles Jackson. So maybe a little bit of an alliance here between Sam Young and Annie Thomas. We'll see how long that alliance lasts, though, because the laps are ticking down. Here comes Dylan Poteet trying to get a run to the inside of Sam Young, but he's got nobody to help him. Charles Jackson hanging back about a car length and a half, maybe 2 car lengths, now starts to suck up to the back bumper of the National Guard Chevy. He may have just been biding his time. Who knows? He's been here before. He's been in the final segment of the Royal Rumble and won it. And he'd love to be able to have that strategy work again here for the 2nd year in a row. Poteet and Jackson still working together. Now Poteet's right on the back bumper of the 07. The 07's right on the back bumper of the 13. They're all 4 nose to tail coming off of turn 2. Who's going to make what move? Sam Young looks low. Dylan Poteet looking lower. Sam now tucks back in line. And Poteet did get the run to the inside of the 07, so he'll use the 13 to move into 2nd place. Charles Jackson, though, he's helping Sam Young on the high side. Now he dives down low. He's going to help Dylan Poteet now to get by Sam Young as Annie Thomas continues to lead the way. Somebody's got to make a move here on Annie Thomas pretty quick. And wait a minute, here comes Charles. He's going to get to the inside of Poteet for 2nd. Here he comes. Charles Jackson making his move with a little less than 3 laps to go. Can Charles Jackson do it? He's got to get around Annie Thomas, who has not let anybody get to her back bumper since Sam Young pushed her to the lead. Charles now looking for a drafting partner. It could come in the form of Sam Young. Sam, though, runs the middle groove. Almost thought about going through the middle between Dylan Poteet and Charles Jackson. Now he's drafting with Jackson. But wait a minute, here he comes trying to get a run to the inside of the AmeriQuest Ford. That still is good news for Andy. Oh, whoa. And I was going to say for Annie Thomas. Charles Jackson tried to throw a block on Sam Young that time, though. He's going to block him here into turn 1 as well. Yes, he is. Going to keep him in his rearview mirror. And now Sam Young offering the drafting help to Charles Jackson. 1.5 laps to go. Annie Thomas still the leader, but here comes Charles. Big push from Sam Young. Can he get any kind of run into 3? Not this time, but Sam Young still glued to his back bumper. Charles Jackson's got a huge run here. Will he make any kind of move? Out of 4, Charles dives low. Sam Young goes with him. Poteet comes as well. They're ganging up on the 13. Charles Jackson goes to the inside. Charles Jackson trying to make history. He got her at the line. He is the current leader. He goes to the lead. Sam Young to second. Dylan Poteet right there in third, getting almost into the back bumper of the 07. Here comes Andy Thomas trying to catch up as well. They're nose to tail the front three. Andy Thomas, the car length back. Sam Young looking low. Dylan Poteet looking high. That's for second. Can Sam Young get to the inside of Charles Jackson, though? Here he comes trying to move him. Can't do it this time. Charles Jackson out of turn 4 for the final time. Has he finally been able to do it? Will he hold off Sam Young? Sam's going to try and get some kind of a run here to the tri-oval, but Charles Jackson came in entry number 75. He makes it into the final round, and he's a back-to-back Royal Rumble winner. Charles Jackson has won it for the second straight time. Wow, perfectly made move there. He held off Sam Young, and Charles Jackson, for the second straight year, has won the NNSCRA Royal Rumble. That is going to be very difficult for any driver to try and match, I can tell you that. Charles Jackson's been here once before, and he used exactly what he learned then in today's event, and he has done it 2 times in a row. He has won one of the toughest races held here on the NNSCRA Sports channel. Oh my goodness. So apparently number 75 was the lucky number today. Charles Jackson came in as the last entrant. And we can't say he dominated this 10-lap segment either. He was actually at the tail end of the field for a majority of it. And a little shove there from Andy Thomas, as Charles Jackson's going to win it. So Charles Jackson is the winner of the second straight Royal Rumble. And it's the his second straight Royal Rumble. And the 4th annual NNSCRA Royal Rumble. We got to give a big congratulations to Sam Young, Dylan Poteet, and Andy Thomas as well for surviving and making it into the final segment as well. As far as a few other unofficial awards, Danny Wells gets the Survival Award. He survived the most rounds out of any driver, surviving 18 straight rounds. And the Elimination Award goes to Brad Johnson, who has the most with 5 eliminations during the course of today's event. Once again, Charles Jackson is your Royal Rumble winner for the second straight year. That is an unprecedented feat that he accomplished here today. Hope you guys enjoyed this Royal Rumble. I enjoyed bringing it to you. If you did, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to become part of the crew today. Hopefully all of you that weren't able to sign up for the 4th annual NNSCRA Royal Rumble will be able to sign up for the 5th annual NNSCRA Royal Rumble. Not exactly sure when that's going to be. It'll probably be somewhere between 4 to 5 months because we like to have this spaced out. But there's a lot more stuff going to be coming out here on this channel as well. Hope you'll be tuning in for all of that. And we will see you guys next time as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.